Welcome to Cinemagna. In today's video, we will showcase the world premiere video of the 2022 Apple TV psychological thriller miniseries titled Surface. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel to be notified when new videos are released. Surface is Veronica West's upcoming psychological thriller miniseries for Apple TV+. The series is about a woman's journey to rebuild her life following a suicide attempt, and her struggle to comprehend everything that led up to that point. The cast include Gugu Mbatha-Raw as Sophie, Oliver Jackson-Cohen as James, Stephen James as Baden, Graynor as Caroline, Marion Jean-Baptiste as Hannah, Francois Arnaud as Harrison, Millie Brady as Eliza. The series was ordered straight to series in November 2020, with Gugu Mbatha-Raw set to star and co-executive produce. Oliver Jackson-Cohen, Stephen James, Graynor, Marion Jean-Baptiste, Francois Arnaud, and Millie Brady joined the cast in June 2021. Filming for the series began July 1, 2021 in Vancouver. The series is set to premiere on July 29, 2022, with the first 3 episodes available immediately and the remaining episodes premiering on a weekly basis. Without much further ado, please enjoy the Surface series premiere video.
I play Sophie in Surface, and when we first meet her, she has gone through this traumatic accident and she's lost her memory. So the audience really knows as much about her life as she does at the beginning of the show. And it's really this very twisty, thrilling journey, a psychological thriller, really, as she unlocks what really happened on that day. And you find, she lives in this luxurious house, this seemingly perfect husband, this amazing life. But when she first leaves the house in her recovery, she comes across a man who knows her, but she doesn't know him. And he alludes to the fact that she can't trust her husband. And that sort of starts her off on this journey of figuring out who she really is. And essentially what I love about the show is, we've seen psychological thrillers, we've seen mysteries, but Sophie is the mystery. Well, it's that essential dilemma. What do you do if you can't trust yourself? And the idea of fresh starts, if your memory is essentially wiped, will you make the same choices? Is your fundamental nature a part of you? If you don't have your experiences or your context, who are you really? And will you make the same mistakes again? And I think that's kind of a really interesting existential question in terms of who we are and whether we're defined by our secrets. It's a female-forward story. Obviously, there's Hello Sunshine producing, who I got to work with on the morning show with Apple as well. And, just being such a huge fan of Reese Witherspoon and what she's done with that story, how they empower women in stories, how they uplift our voices, and really, the idea that the quality of the writing was just incredible. I mean, Veronica West's script was such a page-turner. From episode 1, I was hooked. And so for me, it was a really amazing acting opportunity because Sophie has a massive arc, throughout the show. She really grows and develops, and it keeps the audience guessing.
James Ellis is Sophie's husband, and he appears to be this sort of doting, loving husband, and then you slowly realize that actually nothing is quite as it seems, and he's holding a bunch of secrets. What Veronica West does so well is writing this whole idea of secrets that are kept in relationships and why we protect people, and are we protecting them or are we protecting ourselves? And so I think there's so much that like she does that's at play in the show. I haven't read a show like this in such a long time, but there's so many twists and turns, and it's very in the Big Little Lies space. So I just feel like it's quite the roller coaster of a show.
Caroline is old friend. She's Sophie's best friend, and she's in the art world, and it's a crazy thing when your best friend has no idea who she is and what her life was like. And so I think everyone's trying to pick up the pieces and trying to start fresh and guide her through this really difficult time. It was so cool and so shocking. Every time we got a script, you were just like, what is gonna happen? And like, I've never been a part of something where you really didn't know what the twists were. And I feel like the thing about this show is even when you think you know what's gonna happen, it's not at all what ends up happening with everyone and everything. I just think it's such a juicy, perfect, surprising psychological thriller of the summer that I just feel like it will keep everyone on their toes and will bring you through the summer heat to watch everything you need to watch.
There's just a lot of unknowns in the whole project, so we kind of start, I don't want to ruin anything obviously, but we start thinking that we have an idea of what's happening throughout the story, and as things get revealed, it sort of shifts our perspective on what we think about people, who do we trust, who can we really relate to, and I think a lot of people are going to be really surprised by the outcome of this whole project, so looking forward to seeing the feedback for sure. There's a lot of good scenes, there's a lot of really cool stuff, the writing is phenomenal. I think people are going to really like the way the whole story, just from beginning to end, the transitions, and just kind of takes you through a journey that I think most people aren't ready for, so yeah, it's going to be really good. They're going to enjoy it.
There's always mysteries behind the show and the big business, so I just loved being a part of that and being a part of that storytelling. It is a psychological thriller, so with that I love the turn and twist and all of the mysteries you're going to be solving in each episode.
I play Harrison, who's James's best friend and business partner, and he's known James for a really long time. I think he feels very loyal to James and has always been very suspicious of Sophie, so I think he brings sort of a different perspective on Sophie's experience of her paranoia and anxiety, and I think he contributes to it in many ways. But also, I think what's interesting is to discover is whether Harrison's perspective on the whole situation is to be trusted or not. What is really thrilling to me about the story is that you're seeing it all from a first-person point of view, and she really draws you in. I think Gugu's an actor who can really draw you in, and she's such a compelling face and can do so much in silence. And but also, I think what's interesting to see is how skewed sometimes like our own perspective is, and how when we're so close to something, it's really hard to gain a sort of an ensemble view.
I love working on the psychological thrillers, especially because it's kind of something you can sink your teeth into from an actor's perspective, at least. So it was exciting, and Dan and Veronica did such a good job with the show, so I was just incredibly lucky to be a part of it and involved on this one. I'd say the story resonated with me just in terms of how well it was told and how the things unfold, so it resonated me in a storytelling way. Of you never knew, and like I did as an actor, I got the kind of the scripts one by one as they came out. I didn't get the entire thing. I guess that's how they were writing it. So I was along for the ride as an actor with it as well, which was very exciting. So I just love the storytelling, and that's probably I'd say the strongest thing about this show is how everything unfolds.
What was so fun about playing Eliza is the fact that I know essences of where her character's going, but for me as well, she was such a mystery. So being able to play that dreamy kind of quality of her was fun for me, because it was with having the mystery with the character for myself, I was like, this is kind of great that I get to step into scenes where it's you don't really know whether Sophie's hallucinating, whether she's in this kind of dreamlike state. What's so clever about the writing as well is that you're never safe with any character. You kind of, as an audience member, when I was watching it, I would kind of be following and I'd be like, okay, this person's safe, I'm safe, and then the next thing it would have a turn, and it kept you on the edge of your seat for the entire time because you never knew really who to trust. And I feel like what's so clever about it is it imitates the inside of Sophie's mind in a way, because as an audience member you're dealing with the same sense of confusion that I think the character has, which I think is super clever how that's written.
Oh my gosh, I love this show so much. I binged it in 2 days. I think people are going to freak out when they see it. It's like the most beautiful people in San Francisco, this crazy, elite, beautiful world, but all these twists and turns, and nobody is who you think they are. I think this is a central premise of like a woman not knowing who she is, waking up in your life and not having any kind of memories and having to piece and patch together who you were or where you are. It's just fascinating to me. I mean, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Born Identity meets Big Little Lies, kind of in the world that like, it's about this really elite world and the darkness that lies underneath it. I started my relationship with Apple doing morning show. It's been such a phenomenal experience. I love the team at Apple, and you know, the fact that they really support female filmmakers is really important. You know, Gugu's a producer with us on this show, and it's really important that women are coming into a place of leadership at a company like Apple, and it's really meaningful, I think, to tell that that women can tell their own stories, you know, and show a sort of broader spectrum of what the female experience is.
It was a really joyous experience because the team was so tight and connected. We all kind of felt responsible, like we had a part to play. And it was amazing making a program that was a mystery about sort of unfolding, you know, characterizations, you know, who you are, you know, and with Gugu in the lead was extraordinary, so she was incredible. I think it's really exciting to see a thriller of this nature with a really strong female lead, and I think the development of the way the story pans out is totally surprising. You know, I don't think it's sort of anyone will see it coming.
Surface is a psychological thriller, but it's really about what happens if you wake up and you don't know your own secrets, you know? And we all have sort of two sides to ourselves. This side we present to the world, that's this very curated image, the person we want to project, but then there's kind of the real self and like our messy emotional secrets. And Sophie at the beginning of our series has lost that, and it's really about her journey and finding who she really is and what that means. She is an angel who walks among us. Like, she's just absolutely the best person I've ever met, and what she brought to the show is just incredible, and I can't wait for audiences to see all the different sides of Sophie that she gets to portray. It's almost like playing multiple characters, the Sophie before, the Sophie we meet, and people are going to be really surprised. I just want people to see where the story goes. You know, it starts with Sophie as this like damsel in distress who is kind of this classic noir prototype. Things are happening to her. She doesn't know what is going to happen next. And then as the story progresses, she really becomes the femme fatale. And you start to realize that maybe she had some secrets of her own. Maybe she's the one driving the story so much more than we thought. So I'm excited for people to get through the whole series, and I promise you won't see where it's going.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and comment on the video if you enjoyed it. Click and watch our suggested video playlist right now for more entertaining videos. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when new videos are released.